When I was younger, my coach always used to tell me that tennis was the easy part. And the older I get, I'm 27 now, the more I realise that that's the truth. Hitting balls, competing, even the wins and losses, that's all simple, and that's the part we love. It's everything around tennis that makes this life hard. The finances, the travel, the time away, missing family, living out of a suitcase. That's the stuff that wears you down. The actual sport, that's the escape. And look, by now, you've probably figured out that I genuinely love doing this. But in the back of my mind, there's always that quiet pressure, that little voice pulling me towards the normal life. And that's something that I struggle with a lot. Knowing that if I walked away today and got a coaching job, settled down, life would probably be quite comfortable, predictable, maybe even peaceful. But not much beats the feeling of winning. And that's why tennis keeps pulling me back, time and time again, to chase that feeling. And when I look back at this in years to come, however much or little I've achieved, I'd like to say that I left it all out there. That drive's pretty brutal, innit? Definitely feel a bit stiff in the lower back after that. So we'd arrived at the tennis. The first thing on the agenda was practice. Are we going to be able to get a court?
Yeah.
After being sat in the car for nearly 4 hours, we had 15 minutes to physically warm up and then get on court and start striking. And because there's a men's and women's event on, it means the courts are pretty busy. So we only really have a full court for half an hour, if that. So it means you've got to really lock in mentally and make sure that every minute you spend on the practice court counts. So me and Finn spent about 5 minutes just hitting up and down the middle, feeling the speed of the court. And then as soon as we got the full court, we went straight into open points, just playing as many as possible. Anyone can feel good hitting up and down the middle. It's keeping shot quality on the move that's the real test. So you may have seen my video last week where I was playing the 25k in Sheffield. From the last round of qualifying to first round main draw, I made some pretty big adjustments to my game. Really fine-tuning it to indoor tennis. Really going after my first serve, aiming to serve and volley on pretty much every first serve. Going after my third balls, looking to move forward, taking time away, putting pressure on, and then also going after my opponent's first and second serve. And it felt great. And this is something that I want to carry forward into this week. I really want to go out there and take the ball on and try and win these matches. Because these tournaments are tough. I'm not going to win matches by just putting the ball in the court. I'll have to do something with it. But before we carry on with the video, I'd like to say a big thank you to Swing Vision for sponsoring today's video. Honestly, this app has completely changed the way I learn from my training and also my matches. Have you ever actually just watched yourself play and realized there's a completely different game happening to what you felt on court? That's exactly what Swing Vision helped me to discover. So for the last couple of months, I've been using Swing Vision in pretty much all of my training sessions. And it's honestly been a game changer for spotting patterns and seeing where my level really is under pressure. What I really love about Swing Vision is that it makes the whole process effortless. You just clip your phone into the swing stick, it sets up in seconds on the back fence, hit record and play. No extra equipment, no messing around. For me, the best part is Swing Vision automatically cuts out all the dead time between points. I used to sit there scrubbing through hours of footage trying to find one key rally. Now Swing Vision does it all for me. I can re-watch a full 2-hour session in like half an hour, and it gives me instant stats after every session, like my first serve percentage, second serve points won, winners, unforced errors, basically everything you'd see on an ATP broadcast. And what's really eye-opening is when I compare those numbers to ATP averages. For example, I noticed that under pressure, the pace was dropping off my shots by around 5 to 10 miles an hour. That was something that I'd not really pick up without Swing Vision tracking it. So I started planning my training around that, building drills that specifically targeted those pressure moments. It's like having a coach and an analyst in your pocket. If you want to start understanding your game at that level, not just guessing, but really seeing what's happening, check out the link below in my description. If you sign up to Swing Vision Pro for a year, you'll get your free swing stick, which is the camera mount, worth $100 for free, and plus 30 hours of recording a month, free international shipping, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Thank you again to Swing Vision for sponsoring this video. And trust me, if you're serious about improving, this is the smartest tool in tennis right now. Anyway, back to the video. After practice, there was only one place I was going, and that was the gym. Needed to fix the old bod after that 4-hour drive, and then jumping straight onto court. We were pulling out all the stretches. And then just had to wait for my roommate to finish his practice, and then we could check into our hotel and get out for dinner because I was starving. Sorry, what's that? Right, let's have a little look at the room for the week, David. Good job booking this. It's actually, it's not bad, it's not too bad. Got a little bathroom here as well, pretty decent. How much was this? 50 a night each?
Yeah, including breakfast.
It's pretty good. There's not many options in Glasgow that are really, really cheap, but it's about as good as we're gonna get. Dinner time. That is a farce. That has to be some of the best Japanese food I've ever had. That was a joke, right?
Real joke.
Yeah, real good. Movie time.
A bit of Crocodile Dundee.
5-star. So, it's game day. As we'd pretty much spent the whole day travelling the day before, for my first round qualifying match, I requested a later start. And this just meant that I was fully rested, and then in the morning I could get fueled up and prepare properly for the match. It's quite difficult having to travel a whole day before and then be first on the next day. I've done that quite a few times, and I just find it's best to give yourself time to settle in. And plus, it means I get a little bit more time to practice and really get used to the courts. As soon as I arrive at the tennis centre, I pretty much go straight into the gym and start warming up physically. It normally takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to feel properly good. After the gym, I head straight onto court to practice. And to be honest, I wasn't filming loads because I really wanted to try and lock in for my match and make the most of the opportunity to play the futures. So my opponent today in round 1 of qualifying was Nemanja Milasevic. And even though he's ranked just outside the world's top 1,000, he's had some really strong results over in American college that would suggest that he's playing a level above that ranking. So I knew this match was going to be a tough one. And if I was going to have any chance of winning, I was going to have to go after it. A lot of my opponent's best results had come on slow outdoor hard courts. So I was thinking my style of taking it really early, serving big and coming forward, especially in here on the rapid indoor hard courts, could match up really well. I started off serving so well. I think I hit 7 aces in the first 2 games. And I was able to bring them out on big points. I was just thinking to myself before every first serve, try to serve and volley. Even though I wasn't serving and volleying every time, the thought just really helped me to transition my body weight through the court and really commit to my serve. And it was making a huge difference with how effective my serve was. And with my returning, I was trying to take the ball inside the baseline as much as possible. Just using the pace of my opponent's serve to almost nudge the ball back early, straight back at him, and really try and trouble him for time and pace. Because of the speed of the court, there's no need to try and force angles. You can do a lot of damage by just going deep down the middle. And any ball that was short, I was just thinking to myself, move up to it and take it on as quick as possible. I wasn't thinking that it had to be a particularly fast shot or hit it that hard, just early and trying to follow it into the net as much as I could. I was just really trying to set the tone and show my opponent that the match was going to be played on my terms. Whether I missed it or made it, my goal was to make things happen. My opponent was super solid. I felt like any time that we got into a rally, he was very difficult to break down. He was solid on both sides with no obvious weakness, and his depth out the corners was really starting to trouble me. So I was trying to mix him up with a little bit of slice to try and bring him forward, maybe make him slow the pace of his shot down, but anything that I threw at him, he was dealing with pretty well. I felt like the most success that I was having was with the 1-2 punch, just attacking really early within the first 1 or 2 balls of the rally. In this match, I was willing to take a few more risks. So at 5-4, I was feeling pretty good, really comfortable with the way that I was playing, and I was really thinking to try and make a move in this game. If I could put some pressure on here, get the break, I could take the first set. My opponent was hitting his first serve really well, so I wasn't really able to attack it. I was pretty much just trying to neutralize it. But at this stage in the match, 5-4, serving to stay in the set, the pressure can get to people. And I had set point on second serve and decided to try and chip it in. And straight away, I regretted it. I should have gone after that return. I'd been hitting that return so well the whole match. And to be honest, I just let the nerves get to me a little bit and almost just tried to push it in. And that's often what happens when you try and make it, you miss. When you commit to it and go after it, you make it more. But sometimes it can be hard to do that when the nerves creep in. But to be honest, I was still in a very good position. I was still feeling very confident, serving well. Apart from that one blip on my opponent's service game, I was really happy with the way that I was playing. After a solid hold, 6-5 felt like another chance to try and put some pressure on my opponent. I knew that I was starting to get into his service games. I just had to keep sticking to what I was doing that was working well when I had the chance to break. But my opponent was pretty relentless. I knew that he wasn't going to give me anything for free. I knew that I was going to have to go out there and earn it, and this is the case whenever you're playing a really high quality player. They will just make you play over and over again. I felt like I was really close to making a move in this set, and I had a pretty good chance here to go ahead in this service game, and I couldn't believe that my opponent made this volley. It was ridiculous. Anywhere else on the court, and I felt like I had it. So we were heading into a tiebreak. Considering the level that me and my opponent were playing, this seemed like the only fitting way to finish the first set. And to be honest, I was really starting to feel the pressure. The intensity of the match had just gone up a notch. I could tell that my opponent had really locked in now. A pretty brutal rally. One that, if I'd have won it, I could have sent a real message. And my opponent was pretty relentless. Even when I was getting him on the full stretch, he was still managing to make the ball. It was his depth that just wasn't allowing me to get inside the court. He was rarely dropping the ball short by this stage, and it was just making things very difficult for me to play that really aggressive style that I was wanting to. But I was still determined to find a way. I just had to be a little bit more patient and wait for my chances. I felt like I was really playing the right way. I just missed a few shots at crucial times by not much at all. And it was frustrating. I really felt like I was playing some of the best tennis that I could. And at the end of the first set, I came out with nothing. And it's pretty tough to take. And immediately after I lost that first set, I thought back to that chance that I had at 5-4, having the set point at 30-40. And I was almost replaying it in my mind, which probably wasn't the healthy thing to do, especially when, there's more tennis to be played. But I had to snap out of it and refocus and go again in the second set. At this stage, I was closer to winning the match than I actually was at the start. I only had to win a set and a super tiebreak. So I took myself off court, went for a quick bathroom break just to try and refocus, and then started again in the second set, putting my focus purely back into the process. Not worrying about the result, but focusing on taking the ball early, going after it, and really playing the way that's natural to me. I think in this match, I was almost surprised at the level of serving that I was able to produce. I know that I can serve like this, but making that one simple adjustment of aiming to serve and volley, really helped me to commit with my whole body. And it just made my serve feel so easy. And I think by this stage, we'd been playing for about an hour. Normally there might be a little bit of fatigue setting in, but I felt like the way that I was playing was so efficient. I actually felt pretty fresh. I was keeping the points so short, and I was only really having rallies and battles on my opponent's serve. And I think credit to him that he was able to, one, defend so well when I was attacking him, but then also counterattack. I felt like sometimes that I'd hit a great return or a great shot, and it was just coming back with interest. Especially from his backhand side, I felt like it was really difficult to attack. Looking back at this match, something that I wish I did more was use my backhand slice to bring him forward into the court. I think going forward, this is going to be a real weapon of mine. Partly because not a lot of players use it. There's not loads of single-handers around these days, and people are hitting through the ball more and more. And I just think it's a really effective way of, changing the pace, changing the trajectory of the ball, and it forces your opponent to do something. By this stage in the match, I don't think there were any secrets. I feel like we both knew what the other player was going to do. It was just who could do it better, who could make less mistakes, and who could stick to it more. This set just had the feel about it that nothing was going to happen until we got to a pressure situation. I felt like we were both playing the big points well, both handling the pressure. It was going to take something extra to make either one of us make a mistake and get broken. And it almost felt like we were just biding our time until we got to that stage. And at 3-all, we were getting close. So I was just making sure that I was just carrying on doing what I was doing that was so effective. I decided to just try and throw a few more returns in there, even if I had to chip the ball in, just to try and ramp up the pressure a little bit for when we got near to the end of the set. But my opponent handled this pretty comfortably and started to put real pressure on me from the baseline. With a few misses from myself and some very good play from my opponent, I found myself at deuce at 4-3. I knew that if I got broken here, it was pretty much game over. My opponent had been rock solid on serve, and this was in the back of my mind while I was serving at deuce. But I knew that I had to lock in, take the ball early, and try and get the first strike in, which it was super tough because my opponent was hitting really good depth, as you can see, even when he was on the full stretch. And at this stage, he was just making life very difficult. And like I say, in this match, I think he won the majority of the longer rallies, so I was having to try and keep things short. I knew that my best chance was making a first serve and then getting in there with an early third ball, trying to move forward to the net wherever possible. And that really short backswing backhand, almost like a push, was really effective. So I managed to fend off a few chances that my opponent had to break, and all of a sudden got my confidence back, ready for the game at 4-all. Sometimes this can happen in a match when your opponent has the chance to break and they don't take it. They can feel the pressure or maybe think about the chances that they had. So I knew that having turned that game around at 4-3, this could be a chance to get the break myself. After a mini shift in momentum, this could be my time to make a move. So I was going to stay up on the baseline, try and take the ball early, attack with my feet, and not force anything. I knew that this was going to be the time to make my opponent play. Like I said before, I was feeling pretty fresh, so I felt like I could put a shift in the longer rallies. At 30-all, I was feeling like this was my chance. There was obviously a little bit of pressure on me, but I knew that most of the pressure was on my opponent. My plan for the break point was to try and neutralise the first serve and then look to attack. But with my return going short, I was going to have to pull something out, and I did. I got the break, and it meant that I was 5-4 up, serving for the second set. And I told myself that I was going to keep that aggressive mentality, but I just forced that first volley, and the first point of any game is so important. But at love 30, I knew that the game wasn't over. There was still a high chance that I could come back and hold. I knew that first serves here were crucial. And I think in trying to make more first serves, I actually took a little bit of pace off, and then that allowed my opponent to really take on my serve. And in the end, I got broke, I was gutted, but I had to regroup quickly. I knew that there was still a big chance in this set to take it. I just had to really stick in there mentally. And that's what I did. And at 5-all, I had another big chance to break. I was love 30 on my opponent's serve, but I knew that he wasn't going to give it to me. I was going to have to get out there and put my game down. And I honestly couldn't believe that my opponent pulled that off. What a shot. I was going to have to go again at 30-all. I got the short ball, decided to come forward and got rewarded for it and earned another break point, which, to be honest, I didn't make the best decision on. I saw the opening down the line and went for it and missed it by a few feet. I definitely should have made my opponent play there, especially at this stage in the match. And with a big serve, he held. So the pressure was right back on me at 6-5. If I hold, I've got another chance in the tiebreak. If I don't, I lose. My feeling was that my opponent was really hungry for this game. Obviously, any player would be. And the pressure was really starting to affect me. I felt like my decision-making definitely wasn't as clear as a few games ago. I was starting to rush things and force my shots a little bit. And on this match point save, I just decided to go for it. I really felt like if I could get through this game, then the pressure might ease off me a little bit and I'd have a really good chance in the tiebreak. The whole match, I felt like I'd been playing so well, I just needed that little bit of momentum to go my way. And there was just a few points here and there where I thought I'd won it, and my opponent pulls out an unbelievable shot, and points like this can just change the direction of the match. And unfortunately, I couldn't hold on to my serve in the end, which I felt like it was a real shame because I was playing so well, felt great, just didn't take the chances at the moments where I needed to. But big congratulations to my opponent. He was obviously bringing some very high level, and he's going to be one to watch out for in the futures, for sure. As for me, obviously, I'm gutted, and I didn't get into the doubles, so it's time to head home and get back to work on my game. Coming up next time, I head back to Portugal to play another UTR PTT. Hopefully do well, earn some cash, and then get back to a futures and get some more ATP points.